Hello and welcome to my awesome health journey. I'm Brett Dupree, and one thing I like to talk about is also mental health. And since mental health is doing pretty okay, I generally haven't been talking about that too much. I've been mostly talking about physical health and stuff, but I've been thinking about something for a while. And it's mostly like how I spend my free time, how I spend my time where I enjoy myself. And the part of me that feels guilty for doing so, or kind of, I want to use the word pathetic, but like how I'm not making use of my time. And I think I've talked about this in my past, in past videos. Probably the chance of you listening on my videos is small, but talking about for a long time, purpose and living a purpose-filled life was very important to me. I've always had this fear of being forgotten, the fear of death. I think it stems a lot from my uncle dying when I was like 18 months old, about two. And I think that just put in the idea of death. And since I was just someone, like just the way my brain works, I just think too much about things. And so being a young person dealing with death, I thought too much about it, and I don't have, I have like, what, 2-year-old understandings, and that continued to when I was 5, and just become this fear of death and this fear of being forgotten. And that has just led to me as an adult wanting to be purposeful, and the way I did that was my work of trying to become a life coach. I did Toastmasters for 11 years. I tried to be a life coach for at least 15 years, completely unsuccessfully. So unsuccessfully, gigantic not success. The only thing I do regret about that process is all the money I lost and not succeeding, but on the other hand, it has made me into a better, more happy, more joyful person. So there are some benefits, but this is not about that. This is mostly how I find myself now. About 3-4 years ago, I completely just gave up on that. Maybe not that long. Maybe it's like 2 years ago, because I stopped my podcast. I had a podcast, like 120 episodes. It was super cool. It was fun. I'm proud of it. Still on that Joyce Expansion podcast, where I interviewed people, and then so I really want to do that, and then I gave it all up. Just looked at a lot of aspects about it, and I recognized not only the idea of working one-on-one with people isn't really my strong suit, but just the type of world, and I guess I'm not saying I've grown past it, but at the time it just didn't make sense. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to try to live my best normal life. And then pandemic happened, and I guess during all that, it was during the pandemic and everything. A lot of people go through existential crises, plus 40s and stuff, and not succeeding for 15 years does wear on you. But anyways, this is not about that. This is more about how I spend my time now, which is I'm playing a lot of online RPGs. By online RPGs, online tabletop RPGs. I'm using forget it. Start playing that player? That games. Start playing that games. Start playing games. And you go on there, you find a game master. It's mostly, it has a lot of Dungeons and Dragons on there, but honestly, I'm getting to a point where I don't really like Dungeons and Dragons that much. I actually have 4 games right now. I have a Dungeons and Dragons game that I've been playing every Monday, and I'm playing with these guys for like over 2 years. And Tuesdays, I'm running my own Fabula Ultima game, which is super fun. It's like a JR TTRPG, and I just loved Final Fantasy growing up, so it's like making my own Final Fantasy game with people. It's super fun. And then on Wednesdays, I started Dagger Heart, which is the new Critical Role thing that I didn't think would be exciting, but it's like powered by the apocalypse, meet Dungeons and Dragons. And to say that makes me a super nerd, because most people don't know what that means. And now Thursday is my Master Generation game, where I get to play right now I'm playing a 16-year-old superhero, and that one is powered by the apocalypse. And that one is mostly about dealing with high school emotions as a 40-something-year-old man. It's fun to deal with, and there's part of me when people ask me what I do, I feel kind of shamed and guilted in like what my interest is now, and part of me feels like when I'm done with my week, have I done anything? Have I done anything fruitful? Have I done anything helpful? Have I done anything to enrich my life? And part of me feels guilty about it. I'm trying to do, my goal this year is to go on one freaking date, and it's halfway over. I'm not hitting it, but I have started Tinder, and like people ask me, what are you up to? And I'm like, well, I'm writing a summary for my campaign that I'm running. And there's, one person unmatched right away when I said that. But at the same time, there's like societal expectations, and there's part of me who feels guilty in doing that. But the thing is I like doing it. Not only do I like doing it, I find it good for my mental health. Number one, it gives me social interaction with people. Sure, it's online and in person would be better, but it still gives me social interaction with people. To have a really good experience. There's a lot of teamwork. We're all here trying to create the best story. And also escaping to a land of make-believe is fun. It's very fun. And just doing something I enjoy enriches my life, makes me feel better when I'm done. And sometimes life's kind of hard and I'm like, never feel like I'm going to catch up on my finances, or I'm worried about the state of the world, or something's really getting me down. Just escaping for that 3 hours with people and just having a good old time, especially the game I'm running on Fabula Ultima, is so freaking silly. So it's like so much laughing at my friends coming up with like silly ideas. And that's super fun. That's super fun. And I just think in our society, we really don't put a lot of value into activities that don't hang out with family, B, make families, or C, make money, make money in the capitalist system. If you don't, go into those three things, and what I mean by family, everyone likes no one shames people for hanging out with their family too much, which, yeah, I can't hang out with them all the time. It's nice to have your own self-interest, but no one really shames that. The other thing about making families, you know what I'm talking about, about brown chicken, brown cow, but, going out to clubs, hanging out with people with the hopes that maybe with the hopes, even if you don't have a hope, but just doing that, no one's like, oh man, you go out and have fun with your friends out at clubs too much, or music festivals too much, because, maybe you'll make a baby so they can participate in capitalism and make money, which is the other thing, enriching yourself to make money. And part of me wants to justify my like of these games is thinking about, like, I'm learning communication skills, I'm keeping my mind active, I'm learning ways to think creatively. But do I need to do all that BS to justify my enjoyment of those things? So I need to look at things through a lens of capitalist enrichment to think of why I enjoy them, or I just think about that they're a good quality way for me to spend my time, for me to, and it makes myself feel better. It's really improved my mental health. It helps me do dark times. It helps me do light time, and it's fun. I'm having a great time, and I think that's the most important thing. And I think a lot of life is, not judging myself on the things that I enjoy, and working on also not judging others. I know I grew up in a pretty judgmental family, especially on my white side, my mom's side. That family is more judgmental than my dad's side. But I guess what I'm saying is like working on being not judgmental. That's hard, but it's also hard not being judgmental on myself and just letting that go and let me enjoy the things that I enjoy and not worry about what people think of me and not worry about what I think of me even. Just have a good time. And yeah, and just want to alleviate that pressure on myself of having to feel like I need to be purposeful all the time. I need to do enriching things all the time. Sometimes it's good to just veg out, and it's, a lot of times it's good to veg out. And yeah, so this is just me ranting about vegging out. So I hope whatever you do to make yourself feel better, I'm proud of you for finding something that you enjoy, and I hope you enjoy the heck out of it. I love you for who you are. Thank you for listening to this little ramble, and you are worthy.